full commissioner.
Mhm.
And to me, it's a great loss to our commission to not have Roland on the commission. And I just personally feel like he was not made to feel welcome to continue on the commission, per the conversation that I had. So he was offered other commissions that he could be involved in and other things that he could do. But I'm very concerned because there seems to be a very concerted effort on the part of the county board to squash our voices. And this is a good way to start. The people who are vocal, if we don't give them an opportunity to be reappointed, regardless of how long they've been on the commission. Helen Conley was on the commission more years than Roland was, and that didn't seem to be a problem for anyone. So I'm a little bit concerned when it's an African-American LGBTQ male who is not given the same opportunity that a white female is. That's my personal feeling. And I understand that times change with different people on the county board, but I'd like to see some consistency in practice and some clarity and some openness, and I'm not seeing that.
So, Bill, is that something, without asking about the specific reasons relating to him, if you could find out about whether it's a county policy not to appoint someone with a maximum terms? I think clearly, and this gets into the broader conversation we're going to have today, it would be helpful to have a combination of people with long tenures and short ones. But at least it's not been something that I've ever heard formally stated. If you serve more years than X, we're going to boot you off. So
Yeah,
it'd be
that's
good. I'm on the record.
yeah, that's something I definitely want to ask Matt and the county board about, particularly again, while we're in need of people to fill the commission. Yeah, I don't think we should be having
Yeah,
people.
and if I can just, if I could,
And Wanda, I see your hand
I'm
raised.
sorry, Bill, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, no, but
I'm
go ahead.
sorry,
And I'll
I'm
get
on
to
my
Wanda.
phone, so I can't raise a phone or anything. I'm sorry. But to that point, I also want to mention, it was quite touted in the candidacy of Tenley Peterson, who was in fact endorsed by Libby Garvey, that she had multiple terms as a commissioner on the planning commission. So I'm really concerned when Matt DeFerenti is telling one of the members of our commission that it's Libby Garvey who doesn't want people to have multiple terms on the commission when she's endorsing Tenley Peterson, who's had multiple terms. So I'm going to put that out there, and I want to go on the record with that. Thank you.
And Wanda, your hand's raised.
Yeah, I just wanted to go on record as well that I'm extremely disturbed and disheartened by what I'm hearing. Me, especially being a new member to this commission, Roland brought a lot of knowledge and experience that I felt was extremely valuable for my information and my knowledge. And I would like to recommend that we invite Matt to the next meeting to explain exactly and have him on record exactly what he told Roland in regards to Libby, because I'm extremely disheartened, and I would like Matt to come and be on the record and explain his comments to Roland.
And I agree with that. I think it would also be a good idea to invite Matt, and not just about what he told Roland, but generally about if there is some type of policy about multiple terms and if that's being actually applied consistently or consistently across commissions.
Yeah. And frankly, of course, I believe that Libby in 4 months is a has-been. So who cares what she actually says? She's gone, and she's also someone who clearly believes in long tenure in the county, both on the county board and on the school board. She served multiple terms, so it's a little hypocritical for her to say that. But again, I want to know whether it's a formal policy or just a backroom statement that somebody made that that's not supposed to be the Arlington way.
And Bill, just one more note. I did recognize that there's an open door meeting with Matt DeFerenti coming up within the next week or so, and didn't know if that should be an opportunity for us to ask him at that point, or just wait until we invite him and hope that he accepts the invitation to attend, because he has accepted and then ultimately declined attending our meetings before. So I didn't know if we should perhaps register for this open county board talk with Matt, or wait to see if he actually shows up for a meeting that we invite him to.
When is that?
I would have to look, but when I was looking at the emails from the county, I just noticed that Matt Deferanti was up next for the open door conversation.
Okay.
Check.
Okay. I don't think that those are necessarily mutually exclusive. I think commissioners, if they're available, can attend and ask those questions. I mean, I'm gonna ask him myself. But I think it'd also be beneficial to still also invite him, to have him here to speak to everybody at the same time on all those issues. So I think all those things are viable options. And so in addition to inviting Matt, in the meantime, if you all could send me, well, we could do it this way. Maybe come prepared with questions to ask Matt. Like, I already have taken down like the two main things we just talked about, but if there's additional questions anyone wants to ask, come prepared with questions, and I'll send out an email just reminding everyone, or if anyone who wasn't in attendance, about Matt being invited and to become prepared with questions in September. And for those who may have missed in the beginning, before Carol was giving that additional information about Roland, Stephen's term also had expired, but he did apply for reappointment and was reappointed. So Stephen is still on the commission. I know there was some confusion last meeting about his and Roland's positions, but those are the two updates on Roland and Stephen's positions. But besides that, again, we still have positions that need to be filled on the commission. So if anybody knows of anybody who might be interested in serving on the commission, please encourage them to apply. Yes, Stefan.
So, are we?
Hey, Bill, if I can ask to that point, I'm sorry. I don't know how to raise my hand on the phone. I didn't mean to interrupt whoever's speaking. I can speak after whoever.
I'll get to you
speaking,
afterward.
Sure.
Were we going to also use that opportunity to discuss that new draft policy that we were talking about?
So we discussed it a little bit last meeting, even though we didn't have a quorum, and I sent out I sent it out with asking for like feedback, and some people did give me feedback, including agreement with what was sent from the Housing Commission, because there was a deadline for submitting comments. So I did submit everybody's comments, which all seem to be in line. Everybody seemed to be on the same page on that. I mean, we can continue to talk about it, and there's nothing that precludes us from sending additional comments. What was that?
I met with Matt to ask him questions about.
Oh, yeah, certainly. Yes. Yeah.
I couldn't really tell, and maybe you talked about this last month. It seemed partially in response to what we had done with the letter to DOJ. I don't know if that was accurate. It was the specific cause. I'd be interested if formally they're saying it had anything to do with it, and of course then asking specific questions as to the content of it. So I think that would be a good point of discussion with him.
Okay, I've added that to the list as well. But yeah, no, I think that would definitely be good to discuss as well. And Carol?
Yeah, thank you. So I just want to ask, you were asking about things to ask Matt. Instead of trying to get members on our commission with currently
I think you're cutting in and out, Carol.
also especially concerned that here we are halfway through July and we don't have a vice chair, which should have been appointed in January. I'm sorry?
You were cutting, you're back, but you're
Can you hear
beginning
me?
of what you're, yeah, I can hear you now. You were cutting in and out.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't speak on my laptop for some reason. I don't have audio. I have to go on my phone and it doesn't
Mhm.
work as well. I apologize for that. But my concern is in January, the county board is supposed to appoint a vice chair and they haven't done that. So instead of concentrating on filling our commissioner positions and appointing a vice chair, here we are, we're almost August and we don't have a vice chair. And we have 5 vacancies on our commission, which is almost half our commission. I'm a little bit concerned, and I'm wondering if you've had any conversations with Matt about the fact that not only is he not being proactive in leading this commission, I appreciate that he came and spoke to us, but they seem to really be trying to silence us, including by not having people on the commission to have their voices raised, not having a vice chair to talk about the EEO issues with the county and the hiring and what have you, which we really haven't had a conversation about in, 4 or 5 years, quite frankly. So if we're going to have a conversation with Matt, I would really like to have those on the agenda.
Yeah, I can add that as well, and I've raised that before. But it would be helpful again to have that conversation as a group with him too. Let me put that down. Okay. Anything else on this subject? Okay, if not, can move on. I'm not sure if you wanted to make those announcements around the virtual policy, Gurjeet, if you wanted me to.
Oh, I'm sure I can go ahead. It's just very briefly, and I'll send that to you, Bill, to share around. But essentially, there's been an update. So now the commissions can have up to 50% of meetings be virtual. And that would be if it's if it's 11 meetings, it's actually rounded up to the next highest number. So if you guys were having 11 meetings and 6 of them could be virtual, they just can't be consecutive. And then I'll send you, just like how it is now, the hybrid ones can't be consecutive. All virtual is all virtual, right? So everybody would be virtual on there. And I think there's some other distinctions that I'll share with you, Bill, when it goes around, like you have to have your camera on. If the camera's off, then you're considered absent for that portion of the meeting. So I'll share all that information. Bill can share it further. But essentially, it was just the main update was that you guys can now have more virtual meetings if you'd like to choose to do so. And Bill was asking me to put it on the agenda in September so that you could vote on any kind of change in your schedule if you wanted to change it. And I think that was pretty much it. And then
So clarify, and if when you send this out, we can look at what it exactly says. But just a clarifying question. So then, if somebody dialed in, like Carol just dialed in because of computer difficulties, would she not be counted as?
Yeah, that's my understanding. Yes,
Okay.
that it would be counted. But again, I'll get all the FAQs out to you, so that'll probably help you with any questions.
Okay.
So to that point, it's my understanding per the last conversation I had with Roland that because we're supposed to have 12 people on the commission, that a quorum is 6. We don't have 6 people on this call. So if people calling in on their phone doesn't count, what happens if we don't have a quorum? I mean, is this a meeting? I don't understand. I don't understand what happens if we don't have a quorum. I understand if we don't have a quorum, we can't vote on things, but can we have a meeting if we don't have a quorum?
You can have a meeting without a quorum. You can't vote on things. And when it's hybrid meetings, it's the quorum is, basically how many people are there. So right now, if it's 8, it would be 5. It's not like the total number. It's since you have vacancies, you count the actual number of commissioners you have. So on this meeting, you have. Yeah, but if you can always have a meeting though, like you guys have done that in the past, like the last meeting, you can have the meeting. You just can't vote on anything if you don't have a quorum.
Okay, but we don't have Gurjeet, we don't have 8 commissioners, so we don't have 8 people on the call. So I'm really confused now.
Okay, so we can get you some more information on that. Maybe that would be the best way to do it, Bill. Like I can.
No, I understand what the bylaws say and what our charter says. So the number of people on the call, that includes visitors and whatever. I'm talking about commissioners on the call per the Virginia state statutes, not Arlington, but per the Commonwealth of Virginia statutes on establishing these human rights commissions. My understanding that we have to have at least 6 people per the conversation I had with Roland. So the fact that you're on the call and Anna's on the call, and I appreciate you're both on the call very much, but that does not constitute our quorum. You are county staff and we are commissioners.
Yes, we know that, Carol. We've always said that we're not counting towards quorum. But in the past, you guys have done it where the majority of the people present, the one over is the quorum. But again, I think what would probably be best is if I sent information out to Bill to distribute. And this change is about the virtual piece of it, but I understand your concern about quorum and generally about vacancy. So I'll get that information out to Bill and you guys can maybe discuss it. And maybe if in the meantime, I'm happy to get you more guidance from COO if that would help.
So
Well, that would be
county
great,
code
but I don't
says
believe we have ever considered a quorum based on how many people were on the meeting that were not commissioners.
Okay.
So let me be clear on that. You're stating that, but I don't believe that's the fact.
I'm not saying you did, Carol. You never did that because we were always never part of the quorum. So you never did that. That's not what I was saying.
And Stefan's been waiting
Thank you.
to speak. Go ahead.
Yeah, the county code on the Human Rights Commission says it's a specific number. 5 members of the commission shall constitute a quorum for the transaction of business. So it's not, I think that the whole commission is supposed to have 12 seats. They said that 5 members counts as a quorum. So it's not 6.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the clarification.
So it's a set 5. It's not based upon this. Yeah. Okay. All right.
But, that's what the ordinance says. I mean, I'm not sure.
I remember seeing that in the ordinance as well. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, yeah. If you could send that out, and I'll distribute it. The new policies, and then maybe just getting qualifications around the quorum rule.
Sure.
Okay. And let's see if I missed anything here. Just some other things added to the agenda. Carol, you brought up about the establishing plans for the year. I'll just add something here, and if you want to jump in with that after. I was thinking next meeting, everyone can come with their plans for what they want the commission's plans to be for like the remainder of 2024. And we can, put that together. So just next meeting, you can come ready with those items, and I can email out and send that as a reminder as well. Carol, anything you wanted to add to that?
Well, I just want to be clear on what the next meeting is, because traditionally we have not met in August. So are you talking about having the next meeting in September to talk about what we're going to do in 2024?
For the remainder. It's yeah.
One is the fact that we're not having EEO advisory meetings where we're talking.
You're cutting out again, Carol.
And that is the responsibility of the vice chair that we do not have. I'm sorry?
You were cutting out again.
Am I fading out?
Now you're back, but we missed, or at least I am.
Sorry.
I'm not sure if anybody else is.
I'm sorry, Bill.
Oh, no problem.
I'm sorry, Bill. And I'm not.
I think she cut out again.
Yeah, it's not just me, right?
No, I can't hear
Okay,
anything.
okay.
And Bill, one thing, not to get back to that, but we did have an extension we need to request.
Yeah, no, I was gonna have that be after the
got
the goals. Yeah. Okay, well, if she is able to rejoin with audio, we can go back to that. But yeah, basically, I'll send it in the email I'm going to send out to everybody after this meeting. I'll also include a reminder to come with any ideas for plans for the rest of 2024 for what the commission should be doing. And we can, discuss and adopt that in September. On the extent, so I'll move on to the extensions. Gurjeet.
Yeah, so we just have one request. It's basically because the individual wanted to amend their complaint, so it's to investigate that. That's all.
Okay. And you sent that out, I saw.
Yeah.
Okay. For purposes of voting on that, then
Yeah, it looks like you guys don't. You only have 4 people, so
we have one.
I don't know if Angela joins later. Maybe you want to
No,
table on.
we have 5, right?
Do you have 5? 1, 2. Well,
Yeah.
you have 1, 2. I'm
Yes,
miscounting.
we
You
have
do.
5.
Perfect. Yep, you
Yeah.
have 5, so you can vote on that.
Okay. All right. All right. So I'll entertain a motion for that extension.
Motion to extend?
Any seconds? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Okay, motion passes, everyone, I believe. So said yes. Sorry, I'm starting to freeze as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm readmitting Carol.
Okay.
And then you did have a member of the public. I don't know if you were going to do that later. The public
Yeah,
comment.
I was gonna do that after.
Yeah.
Has Carol been
Okay.
Okay,
readmitted?
Bill, clearly,
Okay.
I've been bumped out of the meeting twice and no one else has, okay? So I don't want to be paranoid, but I'm starting to feel like people don't want to hear what I have to say and I get kicked out of the meeting because that's happened twice. Hasn't happened to anyone else. So back to my point about the fact that we are supposed to have these meetings with the EEO advisory committee to talk about the hiring of the county, which we haven't had frankly in years. What can we do to affect that? Whether or not we have a vice chair, we need to have these meetings and have that conversation.
I guess I'd have to, if anybody is familiar with the code on this, off the top of their head, feel free to jump in. I know that, by the code that the vice chair is supposed to be the one, chairing that committee. So I would assume that we're precluded from engaging in that without the vice chair being filled, and we can't have the vice chair filled until the county board takes action on that. But it might be worth, again, looking at the code to see if there's any, other options for manning those committees. But the way I remember the code reading was that it was dependent upon that position being filled. If anyone else has a different view of it, let me know. Stephanie, you're muted.
Bill, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm sorry, Stefan, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Please go ahead.
So I think my recollection is the statute seems to imply a subcommittee, but
Right.
if there is interest in it, I don't see why that would preclude the full commission from taking it up as a plenary issue.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I guess we could do that. Yeah, it would still be nice to have the vice chair. Well, we could do both at the same time. We could advocate for the vice chair position to be filled, and we could take that up as a plenary issue for the full committee. Yeah. So I can, I'm not going to put everything into September, but maybe this is something that we can try to work. I'm trying to work offline in a way that doesn't jump into the public meeting rules. Because we would need that. Oh no, we wouldn't have to have a committee. It was just something we would discuss at the full meeting. But maybe we talk about it then in, October. I don't want to kick it down the road, but can't do everything in the September meeting, I guess, especially if we have Matt. But if Matt's unable to attend for some reason, I guess we could discuss it. So it could be like a backup discussion point. But yeah, I'll put that tentatively on the agenda for September. But if, the agenda's too full, we could take that up in October. You're still on mute. You're still
Bill,
on mute.
thank you very much. Bill, I appreciate you
Okay.
saying that. And again, I understand the constraints. County board. Um, they're bumping me out again, but I think I'm still here anyway.
I can hear you.
Thank you. I appreciate that because that has been going on for a while. And I know you are doing your best and I really appreciate all you're doing. I just want to make that very clear for the record as well. Thank you.
Hey,
Thanks.
Carol, just a heads up. I'm not sure who has the ability to bump you out, but I'm not aware of anyone bumping you out. It's just you're going in and out, but you've rejoined a few times, and we've admitted you then, but no one's bumping you out that I'm aware of. It's just you go in and out a little bit because of the phone thing, but I think we can hear you getting what you're trying to say.
Thank you, Gurjeet. I appreciate it. I don't like being in a virtual meeting, quite honestly. I much prefer face to face. So I'm a little bit concerned that half our meetings are going to be virtual because we have these technical difficulties. And I know that Anna does an amazing job of facilitating our meetings, and I appreciate your support as well. So thank you. I appreciate what you said.
And Stefan, I think you're on mute originally, so I'll turn it
Okay.
back to you.
Thank you. So first of all, I was just pumped out as well, which is why I left and came back. So that happened. But the other thing is relating to the EEO special meetings or whatever, since we now have the latitude to have more virtual meetings, and at least for this year, we're planning to have in person as well, we could have some special meetings that work on those issues virtually.
Oh, yeah, that's true too. Just like we did with the detention center issue. Yeah.
And we could notice them as a special meeting or whatever. So I don't think that would be an issue.
Okay. Let me take that down. Okay, so why don't I'm not going to send this all out as one email. I might send separate emails, but let me send out an email to everyone to see if we maybe can schedule a special meeting related to the EEO. Like it would be weird to say subcommittee, but the issues that subcommittee would be addressing. So we can try to figure out what works for everybody's schedules after this meeting. Moving on, before going to public comment, is there anything else anybody wants to raise? Okay, I'll turn it over for public comment then, if there's anybody from the public who wants to comment. Okay, well, if there's not anything else, okay.
So sorry.
Mhm.
Yes, this is Scott. I had submitted a written testimony, but I can also just give a portion orally if that's fine.
Mhm.
So I'm a part of the Arlington Medicare for All coalition. We are working to try and get the county to adopt a resolution in favor of universal health care, in favor of national improved Medicare for all. We were recommended to go to this to your commission for an endorsement on the measure, and I know some might think it's a little outside of the jurisdiction, but we believe strongly that healthcare is a human right, and certainly when insurance companies and private equity firms and whatnot can deny people healthcare, deny people productive years of their lives for not covering drugs or not covering needed procedures. That is a human rights violation. So we are coming to your committee to see if you would consider endorsing our proposed resolution that I submitted via email.
And Wanda, your hand's raised.
Yeah, I was wondering who received the written testimony because I didn't get a copy of that, and I would.
Yeah,
read
Hey,
it.
Wanda, it's Gurjeet. We just got something yesterday. I had mentioned it to Bill, right? That's what I was referencing, Bill, before we got started. So I'm going to be sending that to Bill and then he'll be forwarding it to everybody. I just wasn't able to do it in time for this meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Okay. And Stefan and Wanda, are your hands raised to comment again, or are they just still raised from earlier? Oh, now they're down. Okay. Oh, and you're on mute again.
I don't know if we're done with the issue, at least for now, on the Medicare for All, but I have another issue relating to the reports that I wanted to raise.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So, Gurjeet, it looks like there were 7 complaints filed in June with the office, and 1 was accepted. Am I reading that right? And if so, is there a way to figure out what happened to these 6 that were not accepted, and how does that differ after a complaint has been accepted if there's been an administrative booting it later down the road, which is one of the categories? So I just wanted to make sure that I was reading the data correctly.
So unfortunately, it's not opening up on the screen for me, but what I can do is I will ask Anna and I will look at it after the meeting and get back to you on that one. As far as the difference in process, if you're asking in terms of if we don't accept it when it comes in, maybe because there's no jurisdiction. That's what we mentioned earlier. Like we try to, or it's not within our purview, right? So we'll try to refer it out. So there's usually some kind of a log we have of what we're doing with it or why it wasn't accepted. And I'm sure she can answer that. I'm trying to pull it up again. For some reason, it's just not working for me. But I can get you that information. That shouldn't be a problem at all.
And then also how that's different than the when something's dismissed administratively down the road. Like,
Yep.
why are those issues different than at the beginning of the process?
Okay, got it. I just jotted that down as well.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, that is a good question too, because I was wondering, because I think one of the categories was like administrative closure. One of the categories was like untimely. And I was thinking, is that something that would not be something that would have been a reason for non-acceptance, or am I missing something?
Okay, I'm just writing all this down.
Okay. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
Okay,
Just bear with
okay.
us, guys. Anna is actually out of the office this week and next week, and we're down to 3 staff, including me and Anna. So it might just take us a little bit to get back to you, but we will certainly get back to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Any other, oh yeah, and not to belabor the point, but if it just helps with referring the question to Anna, like if you later, when you're able to look it up or look at the document, like on page 9, it has like the administrative dismissal reasons, and a lot of those reasons look like things that would,
Non-acceptance.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any other issues anybody wants to bring up? Discuss?
I just want to echo what Stefan was saying. It's a little difficult trying to understand the comments and the data in this report.
I'm actually going to have her reach out directly because I think it'll be easier for her to answer also any other concerns you have in terms of the way we do it in teams. So I'll have her reach out to both of you, and then also we'll give a general explanation at the next meeting. So that might be better. We can actually even go through it. It might be easier to just take a report, the next report if you guys want, and just go through it and answer any questions you have.
Yeah, I would like that.
Okay, I'll go ahead and put that on the agenda, Bill.
Okay, great. Any other subjects anybody wants to discuss? If not, I'll entertain a
just
motion.
one
Oh,
thing.
go ahead. Carol.
Bill, just one thing real quick. It's been a few years and obviously COVID intervened, but prior to COVID, we used to have a presence at the county fair. And I know last year the Women's Commission had a presence, and I'm wondering if there's been any conversation about us staffing a table at the county fair so we can talk to people about the Human Rights Commission. We used to do it pretty regularly, and we haven't done it in, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 years, including COVID. Obviously, we stopped during then. But have you been approached about us staffing a table? Because I'm a little bit curious as to why the Women's Commission was present last year, but we didn't seem to be part of it.
I have not, but Gurjit, is that something you're aware of?
I am not. I know in the past, actually, I don't even know how it came up in the past. I think the commission, from my memory, used to talk about it, and it was like a thing they typically did before COVID, and everyone would sort of make plans to go. But I have not had any conversations with anyone about the county fair.
And Carol, do you remember what the process was for actually, getting, a table there?
Bill, I don't,
Okay.
and that's why I'm asking, because it seems to me that the county should be reaching out to the various commissions,
Mhm.
asking them if they want to staff a table at the county fair. I believe that's what's happened in the past, and unfortunately, especially with Roland was the chair the last time that we did this, but it was very helpful as a means to let people know what we do as the Human Rights Commission, and tell them about the processes, and it was we were quite engaged in it. But I do believe, Bill, that it came from someone in the county. I don't know if it was the liaison. So the last time we did it, I believe John Weistat was our liaison, so it may have come through him. I'm happy to reach out to him and get back to you as to how that happened, since Roland's off the board, off the commission right now, or to reach out to Roland. But I just think it's something that is very helpful for us to have some visibility.
Yeah, anything you can find out on that and provide, that would be great.
Thanks, Bill. I'll get back to you on that.
All right. With that, I'll, unless there's anything else, entertain a motion to adjourn. Any seconds?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Bye.
All right. Well, I'll send out those emails to everybody, and we can talk about maybe having a special session focused on the subcommittee, the EEO subcommittee issues. And we'll keep you updated on if Matt is able to attend the September meeting. And that one will be in person or hybrid, but we'll need a quorum of 5 people in the room. So I'll be in touch with everybody with the different subjects that